Welcome back, everybody. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready.
All right, so today we're going to be exploring the sometimes turbulent world of rock supergroups.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, focusing specifically on Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Ah, legends.
They are. Iconic harmonies, incredible impact on music,
Mm-hmm.
but also a lot of internal conflicts and personal demons kind of, plaguing the band.
Right. I mean, you've got these incredible talents, right? But then
Yeah.
you add in some pretty fundamental personal differences, and that's where things,
Get messy.
supergroups, I think by definition, they're just a very delicate balancing act. These are strong personalities used to being the ones in charge. You bring them together and you expect them to mesh seamlessly, and
It's not always that easy, is it?
it's really not. Even with the best of intentions, the potential for clashes, it's almost built in from the start.
Right, yeah. It makes you wonder, like in the case of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, it started as kind of a side project, right?
Yeah. Right, a creative outlet for them between solo careers. It was never supposed to be, the main focus.
But then along comes Neil Young.
And everything changes. The dynamic completely shifts.
Yeah, I mean, the addition of Neil Young, come on. Talk about amplifying their sound,
Absolutely.
like Ohio, or the haunting beauty of Helpless.
Incredible songs.
Right. But this sort of creative synergy, it seems like it came at a cost.
It often does.
Young eventually left, and a lot of people have speculated that maybe he felt stifled creatively by the other band members.
It's interesting, there's that line in Young's song, Rust Never Sleeps, where he sings about carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Hmm.
Some people interpret that as a little bit of a dig at his bandmates, hinting at this feeling of being held back.
Couldn't you also interpret that as just like a general feeling of carrying burdens?
Of course. It's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
But when you consider Young's solo work, right, which often leans towards that raw experimental sound, very different from the more polished harmonies of CSN, it makes you wonder.
Yeah. Like maybe Young needed a space where his unique style could actually breathe.
Mm.
And I think this internal tension was, further complicated, of course, by David Crosby's very well-documented struggles with addiction.
Absolutely. I mean, it's no secret that Crosby's substance abuse escalated in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it made it increasingly difficult for the band to even function, let alone create music together. Graham Nash was, I think, deeply committed to the band, trying to navigate this really challenging situation. But there's only so much one person can do.
Right. It's a tough spot to be in. And then there was that incident, right? That seems to have been the breaking point for Nash.
Okay.
Crosby, in the middle of a jam session, was using a crack pipe.
Oh, wow.
The pipe shattered.
Yeah.
And for Nash, it was almost like, a symbolic shattering of something within him. He decided he couldn't make music with Crosby anymore. It was just too much.
Nash actually described it as a door closing for him creatively. And, you can understand his decision, but it also makes you wonder, did he give up on Crosby too easily? Was there another way to support his friend while still preserving the band's creative spirit? It's a hard question.
It's complex. There are no easy answers when it comes to something like that. And Crosby eventually did overcome his addiction, but the damage was done.
It seems that way.
And the reunion album, American Dream, there are moments of brilliance on that album, but there's also this bittersweet feeling, this sense of the lost years.
The fragmented relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
It is fascinating to examine American Dream in light of everything that happened. You hear glimpses of that old magic. But there's also a palpable sense of melancholy.
Right, this longing for what could have been. So I guess the question for us as listeners, as fans of their music is, we've seen these incredible highs, the lows, this band grappling with these internal conflicts, the personal struggles. Does it change how we listen to their music?
That's the question we're left with, isn't it? Do we separate the art from the artist? Can we still appreciate the beauty of the music while acknowledging, the flaws of the people who created it?
Tough question.
There are no easy answers, but it is a question worth thinking about. I mean, as we continue to engage with the music that moves us, these questions matter.
They do. Well, on that note, that's our deep dive for today.
Until next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Almost cut my hair Hadn't just